Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'll be talking about XLM. What can we expect to happen next? What is happening with the bear market? Is this the end of cryptocurrencies? Guys, we'll review all these news, whether it's bearish or bullish, and make sure if you don't want to miss any of that important stuff, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment your thought below. And let's head on with the video. Just a little side note, guys, if you want to know more about cryptocurrencies, in-depth analysis, portfolio coverage, and stuff like that, make sure you check us out at PTGR AG. So guys, let's jump straight into the video. What's been happening with crypto? If you remember, if you're one of the early ones and you remember my videos that date back to last year, we were reviewing XLM back at the level of 0.80 cents, and that was a very big significant achievement for XLM because we were reaching near these $1 valuation. Now what happened since then is a drastic skyfall and since then we've been hovering around the 10-cent mark, which is the terrible in sense. But what we learn from this is we try to learn from these these corrections and these bear markets to actually take leverage into the next bull market, right? Because everything goes down, will eventually come back up, guys. I don't think it's the end of crypto. Far from that. I think there's great opportunity. When you look at XLM and XRP, those are great utility projects which have huge utility, and we'll talk about that. So make sure you watch till the end because I'm going to review some news which talks about the utility factor of XLM, which in convergence to other projects are actually feasible and implementable. So guys, what's been happening with the price is that we've been hovering between the, I don't know, 13 cents roughly to the on the lower end of the lower 10 cents. And so in the last 7 days, market capitalization also saw a decline, and basically you've seen from 3.37 billion 7 days ago, the coin registered a 22% decline to be spotted at 2.62 billion at this time that I'm recording the video. So we're seeing a temporal relief from 23rd of May till 10th of June, and the XLM coin took another bearish run. The MACD line interested the trend line on a downward curve on June 11th, and this led to the price to take further beating. And what's also interesting is that, you're seeing the relative strength index, which is known as the RSI, of XLM, that also fell sharply after June 10th. And this, we can see it here. The RSI fell strongly after June 10, and what's important to take is that the coin's money flow index followed a similar trend, and the MFI also fell sharply on June 10 and touched a low of 38 before a minor retracement, pushing it to 45 by June 15. So it has taken a downward trend, and it was spotted at 32 on June 20th. So what we're seeing is corrections in the market. Nevertheless, I think these are healthy corrections because obviously if you compare crypto to equity market, you compare that to bond market, everything is correcting, guys. Sorry for that. So you're having retractment in the market as people are selling off because there's major fuss that people should hold on to cash right now. So everyone is selling on to hold on to cash. And prior to last year, when we were testing these 0.8 levels, people were actually all invested, right? People were leaving on very little cash in their bank account, and people were investing heavy because you were near zero interest rates, so people could also borrow money very easily. And so now you're finally seeing the realization of loans getting paid back for people who had borrowed money to be invested in the market, but also the people which were speculating. All of these short-term investors basically left the market, and what we're left is with the big institutional investors, also the long-time investors, and it's a good opportunity to go back into XLM because, as you can see, it's a great project, and I'm still a great believer of it. I sold a long time ago, back last year, but I will get back eventually my position into XLM, and so what's important also is that Coinstar basically added XLM to their portfolio. Now, Coinstar is basically a way where you can purchase a crypto voucher for cash at a participating Coinstar machine, and you can redeem your voucher with CoinMe to instantly claim your crypto. And so you have basically a Coinstar desk where you can take out your cash. Now, what does that mean for XLM? It's a positive news because it shows that people believe in the project, and also that the utility factor is even there, even at these low times. Now, what's also interesting and worth noting is that when we look at the news, is MoneyGram, for example, is also adopting XLM, and so that's also good because it's a huge company, and they've accepted this into their offering, and it shows the seriousness of the project and also the possibility of what XLM has to bring in the future. What's also interesting is Flare Network will change everything with cross-chain interoperability with the security of multi-chain, and all of these passive income will be crazy. And what is referring by that is the smart contract blockchain and the non-smart contract blockchain. All of these will have huge upside potential for XLM in the long term. And where I strongly agree is this, where is the fact that Novati and Ripple and Stellar are two major remittance company that are announced a stable coin deal. And this would be huge because if you have stability within these coins, you're able to actually bring a usability factor to it, in the sense that if you bring a stable coin into this, people will be able to use it as a medium of storage, but also as a medium of trading, right? And also as a way to exchange money between one country to another and benefit from these remittance benefits, which are the main one, which is cost, and the second one is time, right? You're saving so much time because you get rid of these middlemen. Also, guys, since Stellar is already the best cross-border payment network, it's now building one of the best cross-chain messaging network in the market. It's building for a cross-chain future, and Lumen Swap will play a major role in this. This is also one great news for Stellar in these hovering times and bad times, because it's showing that cross-border payments network is actually building cross-chain messaging networks, and it's leveraging all these opportunities for XLM to actually become a huge project that will bring huge utility and benefits to its holder, right? So these are good news. Another one is that it's the Road to US Digital Dollar, a PDF by Harvard, talks about the basics of XLM and XRP blockchain, and it talks basically that Stellar and the attendant native cryptocurrency known as Lumen are interesting concept because in its simplest term, XLM is a global currency, like currency without border, that can be redeemed in any fiat currency of your choice, and it lets that's the dollar, British pounds, Bitcoins, or Indian rupees. In fact, to Stellar communication, it has no owner. If anything, it is owned by the public. And so the software runs across a decentralized open network and handles millions of transactions daily. What's interesting is the leverage factor, right? Because it's not followed by anyone. You're not going to be influenced by any governmental implementation, as we are seeing most of these corrections in the market that we're currently entered, for sure, bear market. But what we're seeing is that people are listening a lot to news, right? And when there's fears, people listen to the news a lot. And what I'm here to do is mainly reassure you on these projects, even though they are worth a tenth of what they used to be last year, or an eighth of what they used to be last year, they are still very promising, and it's just one opportunity to buy them at a discount. Guys, another thing to talk about is these three news. The one is I think that the ISO 222 starts working well before November, and when Swift comes on line in November, it will ramp up to the 87% of all purchase transaction. What he's meaning by that is that I think that ISO 222 will basically be a main competitor for Swift, right? And Swift has a lot of disadvantage, and we'll talk about that later on. But Swift is inevitable to actually be beaten by the ISO in the long term, right? And we'll talk about why. But Bitcoin does not have these utility that XLM and XRP can bring in the long term. And this is another tweet which confirms this, is that utility wins in the long term, right? Ripple is signing an agreement all over the world for cross-border settlement and remittance, but the US is behind adopting technology. Both XLM and XRP are ISO 222 compliant. And that's great to know, because that will be the future in my opinion. And this other tweet is quite interesting because it talks about, have you ever heard of a decoupling? And it's coming in the near future. BTC and all the cons with no use basically are saying bye to it. And what's interesting is that if you think of XRP, it's very much a system that's based on B2B, right? It's an offering that's going to work with banks, and it's one that can benefit the users indirectly, but they work with banks. Their clients are banks. But for XLM, it's person to person. So that's interesting because both of them have great utility and are ISO compliant. And both of them are different, right? They have competitive advantage for both of them. So it will be interesting. Those are for me the two most promising projects ongoing for the next bull run that we can expect. So guys, make sure you're on the lookout for them, because I think that even though we've entered a bear market, it's important to be on the lookout for these two and expect these to actually make a comeback. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you comment your thought below, so you're updated on the next upcoming videos, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.